Most individuals feel as though they can prepare for an interview on their own. And while there are tons of great resources and tips out on the internet, staffing agencies will do their absolute very best to try and prepare you for an interview. But the fact is, many of these individuals that work in that capacity have never actually conducted interviews. They've never actually worked as a recruiter. They've never actually worked as a hiring manager. And as a result, they're simply looking at the same resources and tools that you are, and they're providing that same insight to you. Here at InterviewWiz, we have over 19 years of experience as both hiring managers and recruiters. In other words, we've actually worked on the other side of the desk. We've worked as the individual who's done both the interviewing and also we've been the interviewer. In addition to that, we've also trained numerous individuals that work in the field of recruiting and hiring managers. So the very people that you're actually interviewing with, we've actually trained them on how to interview. So you have a competitive advantage to work with one of our consultants because you are actually getting the best of both worlds. Most individuals make mistakes when interviewing. To be nervous during an interview is actually normal. It's actually okay. However, there are some critical mistakes that most individuals will make, and number one would be simply not being prepared. It sounds pretty basic. It sounds pretty common sense. However, individuals are not thoroughly prepared when they actually go in for an interview. So preparing is number one. Number two, being familiar with your own background and experience. Memorizing, mastering, knowing your specific skill sets, knowing who you are, and being able to articulate your background and experience to the recruiter or hiring manager is key. That is where most individuals seem to fall short. They simply cannot articulate their own background and experience. They can answer the interview questions, but they've lost who they are somewhere in the process. And as a result, they're not selected for the position. So the first step is actually conducting a free no-cost evaluation in which we're determining your strengths and areas of opportunity. Next step, we'll schedule a video mock conference interview in which we're actually interviewing you with real live interview questions. We're actually looking at body language, we're looking at facial expressions, we're looking at all of the dynamics that go into an actual interview. The last step, going over the interview itself, providing solid feedback based on the results of the actual interview coaching. And from there, we'll actually conduct another semi-professional interview in which we're actually providing you the feedback, giving you the specific information and the idea and the bullet points that we're looking at, and then actually coaching and training you through that to not only have a great interview, but to ace the interview. The United States Department of Labor states that 7 out of 10 candidates actually blow the job interview. So many individuals think there's a shortage of jobs. Companies are hiring. They're hiring every day. Individuals are just simply blowing the interview. You can blow a phone interview and never get to the face-to-face, or you can have a face-to-face and magically you hear nothing else. One of the most common interview questions that most people fail is, tell me about yourself. It sounds pretty informal. It's not invasive. It's pretty basic. You don't have to really think about it. But most people start out with, I'm married, I have 4 kids, I live here, I've done this, I bought my first house at 24. Guess what? That's not what they're looking for. But they're not going to communicate it. And so that's why you need an interview coach, because they're going to steer you in the right direction and identify those things before you actually do it. If you're having challenges with acing your interview, let us assist you at InterviewWiz. And remember, your success is our success.